Facebook. We'll see if the stream keys and everything works the way it's supposed to. YouTube is good. Facebook is good. All right. All right, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Build with the CEO. You're going to notice on the screen that it's not just me. I've got my co-founder, Kane, who is also the COO of Coach Catalyst and the brains behind this product. And we are going to, in this episode, walk through 2025 a little bit, talk about some of the key features that we did. I mean, we were just discussing before this, trying to come up with a game plan for this. There was a lot that happened in 2025, and we want to keep these episodes shorter. So we'll hit some of the highlights on that stuff. And then probably what most people want to hear about is 2026. What is coming? What's new? What are we thinking about at Coach Catalyst? What's going to change with your favorite coaching platform? And what's going to improve with your coaching platform? And we've got a lot to say there. So we'll probably spend most of our time talking about 2026. So thanks for coming on, Kane.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to diving into, like you said, what we've done the past year and what we got coming forward. So I think everybody loves hearing that stuff. It's exciting for us to talk about it. And I think it's good to kind of get a lay of the land and make sure everybody knows what's coming up too.
I love it. And so Kane is really behind the product at Coach Catalyst. And so he is integrated with our dev team and it's kind of front lines on new things that are coming and fixing the platform and improving the platform, all of that. So Kane, if you had to estimate about how many kind of improvements, bug fixes do you think we shipped in 2025?
Oh boy. I would say excluding bug fixes, because there's always tiny little things that we're doing day in and day out, kind of pushing things. I would say just straight up new features, improvements or updates, I bet you it was 400 plus.
Which, for context, for people that may be new to the Coach Catalyst world, our company is a little over 9 years, 9.5 years old at this point. And so if you've watched any of the videos on our history, right, completely bootstrapped company, Kane and I had issues in our own facilities that we were running at the time around accountability, connection, education at scale. And that's really where Coach Catalyst, formerly Habit Catalyst, was born. And so we're a 9.5-year-old software company that just pushed over 400 improvements, like 9 years into it. So a couple things there, right? Like one, the improvements never stop. And if they do stop with a company that you're working with, like you should go somewhere else because they're just mailing it in. And the second piece of this is we are 9 years in and we're not done with where this can be. And I don't know if we'll ever be done, but like we're not in coast mode. We're still in how do we build a better product for coaches?
Do you remember? I think it was like year one. We're like, hey, if we just build this one piece, this one feature, we're good, right? We can sit back. It'll be good. We can just let it roll. Yeah, that didn't happen. There's always something to do. There's always something to build. There's always some improvement we want to make. And I think that's the big thing. Like one thing we talk about internally is continuously improving, getting better every single day. We talk about with our clients. We talk about internally with our own company. We're never going to stop improving the software. We're never going to stop pushing those edges and trying to make it the best it can be.
Right. And we don't want to pretend like nothing bad happens. We've had our moments over the course of the last 9 years, just like anyone in business, you have those pieces, but our job is to fix things as quickly as we can and to listen to coaches and what's going on and do our best to help you guys create a business that allows you to flourish in the coaching world and not have to feel like you need to go sell insurance in order to make a living, because you can make a great living coaching and software can help you do that more efficiently. So 2025, give me like a handful of like the big features that kind of came out in 2025.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest ones is we finally got AI into the platform, right? We have what started as Habi AI, giving you the ability to, just use AI to build lessons, to improve messaging, just ask AI questions about your software and about your clients. And we've morphed that into Smart Coach AI now. So the biggest difference, number one, we still have the integration where you can just chat with general AI and get answers and build things. But the biggest difference with Smart Coach AI, which I think we're going to get into, is the ability to actually interact with your own database, with your clients, with your own information, which is still in the infancy. It's still kind of in some beta testing, and we'll kind of talk about where that's going in the future. But I think just being able to have AI in your system with not having to bounce between platforms and go out, it just makes coaches' lives so much easier.
Right. It is the future. It is the future of really everything you interact with on a day-to-day basis, like not even just the coaching platform, everything that we're dealing with, it will be a central part of how you do work over the next decade. And so we're going to have some stuff there. Let's save that for the second half. So if you want to learn about what we're doing with AI, like, you got to hang around and listen. What we launched right at the beginning of 2025, Notification Center.
Yeah. So we launched a Notification Center. Again, the biggest thing we saw on a lot of platforms is they're really good at telling coaches when things happen, right? Johnny did a workout. Johnny completed a form. They're really bad at telling coaches things when they don't happen, which is honestly what we care about most. Like, we want to celebrate wins. We want to celebrate when good things happen with clients, but we really care about when clients fall off track. They don't complete a form. They don't do a workout. They don't do a habit, because we know the clients that get the best results are the ones that get back on the horse quickest. So if we can notify that coach ahead of time and say, hey, Trevor's about to fall off, jump in there.
Right.
You're going to get better compliance. You're going to get better retention and better results for clients easily.
Like, one of our guiding principles at Coach Catalyst is saving a coach time, right? That's a reason you should utilize software, because it allows you to do more work in less time, right? And so that's really where the Notification Center came into play. Is I don't want to have to look through every single client's account to find the information I need, right? If I want to, let's say I have 10 clients, right? Which isn't a huge roster, but if I have to click into all 10 clients' accounts to figure out who didn't fill out their form, who didn't complete their workouts, that's 10, 15, 20 minutes of time that's lost doing nothing, just gathering information. So literally in the Notification Center, in 5 seconds, you can choose the, was it follow-up? Is that the right tab name?
Follow-up is the section, within the Notification Center.
So follow-up, filter by forms, right? And I can see everyone that hasn't filled out a form. And then I can do the human stuff, follow up. Hey, Ken, I saw you didn't fill out the form yesterday. Do you want me to move it to today, or can you just click to yesterday and get that filled out for me, right? Like, really simple stuff. But I didn't have to spend 20 minutes finding that information. And so that's really where the Notification Center came in, and how we wanted to do it a little bit different than like the feed that you get from a lot of places, which is just like a barrage of information, and there's so much information you just ignore it. Kind of like everyone's Facebook feed, right? Like, you go into it and it's just like, just mark them all in red, move on, right?
I remember logging into a coach's account and they had 1,000 unread notifications. Like, that's not helpful anymore. You just tune it out. And so we wanted to redo it. And we also wanted to give the coach the ability to archive them, or to say, yeah, that's done. Almost like we do with our inbox, right? How can I get to inbox 0 with my notifications too? So I can say, yep, got all these. They're all good. Clear them out of the way. I only want to see new things that I care about.
Right. You can use it almost like a little bit of a to-do.
It is.
Hey, these workouts came in. I follow up with the clients, mark them as archived. Now I can move on to the next thing. Right?
Exactly.
You're never dropping the ball, right? You're never missing anything.
Things don't slip through the cracks.
So another thing, and this is going to be part of our what's coming in 2026 too, is this idea of integrations, right? So tell me a little bit about the form stuff.
I mean, as we're building the software, whenever you build something, you start building different features, right? So we have programs here, we have messaging here, we have communities. The hardest piece is getting everything to work together properly and make it nice and tight and seamless. And I think what we've done so far is made sure we built the right features. And now we're going back and looking at them saying, okay, how are they being utilized? How are coaches actually using this in day-to-day work? And how can we make them connect better and work seamlessly together? One big thing was forms, right? We built check-in forms. I mean, we built forms, but we use them for check-ins primarily as a way to help coaches collect information, as a way for them to be able to get client information that's not just habit check-ins, get more subjective data, and allow the client to do less work. And so integrating that with metrics, being able to, fill out a form, add a metric, and have it automatically populate in their metric feed. Same with photos, being able to add a progress photo or a lunch photo, dinner photo, whatever it might be, and have it automatically show up in their albums. And so I think really taking forms and integrating it into more things was the first step. And now we've gone back and looked at all of our different features and saying, how can we make these work tighter together? How can resources connect with programs, connect with lessons? Like, how can it just be a seamless process so it doesn't feel siloed? It feels like everything works perfectly together.
And the term I like to use a lot when we talk about this is reducing friction, right, for the client, right? Because as a client or as a coach, I may ask the client, hey, I'm going to need weight. I'm going to need all these circumference measurements, these kind of things. It's kind of annoying for the client to click their data tab, find their weight, find the date, put their weight in, click back, find the next one, and go through it. Where a form, it's literally just go line by line, fill in your stuff, hit submit, and now we push that data to the place where the coach is actually going to start analyzing it, which is in graphs and table formats and that kind of stuff. And so I think we're just going to find more ways to reduce that friction, right? Where it's seamless. It's just really easy for the client to give you the information they need, whether it's with wearables or with forms, or like Kane said, with lessons, things like that, where it just makes it a much better experience for the client. Because we know if we make a great experience for the client, that's going to look favorably upon you as a coach, right? And they're going to be happy, and you're going to stay with Coach Catalyst forever, and like all's going to be good with the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Clients are not going to spend much time doing these things, right? We found that out with lessons way back in the day. We started writing really long lessons and expecting clients to sit down and do like a 10 to 20-minute read. They're not doing that. Attention spans are so short. They want to get in, get their information done quickly, and get out.
Right. I love it. Well, there was one more that came out that I want to highlight, and that's really the main page that you come into every time you log into Coach Catalyst.
Client index page. Yeah. So this is the main dashboard we like to call it. You can do almost all your coaching from this page, which is pretty amazing. And this is one thing we wanted to make different than any other software, where I don't have to go into the software, click into a client, view their stuff, come back, click into another client. Like I can see all their compliance history. I can see their habits. I can see their workouts, their forms, their recent, when they last messaged me. And I can message them directly from that page. And I can take a ton of bulk actions from that page. And so we knew this was a vital hub for all of our coaches. And we kind of looked back and said, well, how do people actually coach here? What do they want to see? And so we gave more flexibility. We gave them so they could put what columns they want to see. They could reorder the columns. They could choose what was the prominent information they wanted to see right there. And then also, which we haven't really even talked about yet, is saving segments. Being able to filter clients based on what program they're on, what tag they are, their compliance, they're at risk or not. Saving these as pre-built segments so I can just click on it and see all those people right away. I don't have to go through and again, dig through information. How can we bring this information up to the top level for the coach right away so they don't have to do the work? And I think this is the first step towards getting it a little bit more top of mind for everybody.
Right. Again, it all comes down to this principle of how do we save a coach time?
Yep.
Right. Everything that you do inside the platform should be saving you time. And every feature that we develop, every improvement that we make, that's one of the guiding principles. And like, all right, is this actually making a coach's life easier? Is it saving them time? Or is this just something fancy that maybe looks cool?
I think it's also, if I have 5 clients, cool, I can kind of see everything. But our whole goal is how can we help you scale your coaching, right? How can we make it easier for you to grow without having the stress of overwhelm and dropping the ball? And like everything we do on that client index page is going to allow you to coach 100 clients in the same time it takes you to coach 5 because you have that right information and because you can bulk message and reach out to people very, very quickly.
I love it. So as we transition now, I mean, we're recording this on December 30th, 2025. We're kind of transferring into the new year here in a couple days. We've got a lot of our roadmap set out, especially for early 2026. So we know kind of what that's going to look like. The second half of 2026, like anything, is up for debate probably at this point. But there are a couple key things that we definitely want to hit on. And we've talked about the first one a little bit earlier, and that's this idea of AI, right?
Yeah.
And we've got what I call AI 1.0 inside of the platform. Kind of 2.0 is in testing beta right now, and people will start to get their hands on in probably Q1. But tell us a little bit about the difference between kind of what we first launched with everyone had access to, or at least everyone on the pro tier had access to, and now what's the difference between now the next piece that's going to come out?
Yeah, we highlighted this a little bit earlier, but it's basically where does the AI have access to? Right? Because our first version, the current version you can use right now, it has access to just the general LLMs, right? General ChatGPT, we integrate with that. So like you can pull in ChatGPT into your account and be able to utilize it. It'd be very similar if you just went to ChatGPT and typed in a question. Like that's the interface that you have, and that's the type of context and resources you have. We've tweaked it a little bit to give it a little more like coaching background, but it's still more generic and just how you create things. The huge difference in Smart Coach 2.0 is the integration with your own data. Now you're going to be able to go to a client account and say, hey, give me a progress report on Trevor over the last 7 days. And it will go in and it'll look at their message history. It'll look at their compliance. It'll look at all the messages they sent back and forth. It'll look at the form submissions they have, and it'll give you back a report of, hey, here's what happened. Here's their compliance. Here's a comparison to the previous period. Here are a couple things to be on the lookout for. It's not going to do your coaching for you. And I think that's the key determination. We don't want it to be the coach. You are a coach. You know what's best, but it's giving you the right information. It's giving you the right kind of progress, what the person is working towards, and it's going to connect dots you might not see. I think that's the key, is being able to look at past things and say, hey, last time you talked to Trevor, you said this. They didn't do it yet. You should probably bring that up. Here's some key points to talk about, but it doesn't actually do the coaching for you.
Right. You can almost think about it as like your personal assistant, coaching assistant, or researcher for
Yeah.
you. You could find this information if you spent 20 minutes digging through all of the pieces, right? But that's probably not the best use of your time, right? The best use of your time is engaging, interacting, connecting with that client. That's the thing that only you can do, right? Anyone could go find the information you need in order to do that. And actually, like, machines and are really good at large data sets, right? That's why
Yeah.
all this exists. And so leveraging that stuff to do that work, right? Because that's what it's good at. And then that frees up your time to do the human work, which is not going anywhere.
No, and I think we've talked about this before. Like, AI should not be a decision maker, right? You should direct it. You need to give it directions on what to do, and it's a great doer. It's not a good decision maker. But I think so many coaches have this in their mind, like, oh, I'm going to outsource everything to AI and it's going to do my check-ins for me. No, it's not. It shouldn't. But can you leverage your time with AI to help it get the right information so you can do a better job coaching? Yes, of course. And I think check-ins are a huge piece of this, because every good coach I know does some sort of check-in with clients, right? It's not just this open-ended, like, hey, reach out to me when you need help. No, there's some sort of check-in process, whether it be a form, a message, like there's some sort of structured check-in process. And going through those takes a long time. Like, you can take hours just going through and diving deep into it and looking back on previous ones. Like, it can take a lot of your mental bandwidth when you should be just making a decision, giving them directive and coaching them. And that's the big piece of this, is at least this first version is allowing you to do that. And eventually down the road, having your own little co-pilot or own project per each customer, per each client, is where we want to take this. Like, we want to be able to go in and say, hey, here are Trevor's goals. Here are Trevor's progress. Here's what I'm worried about. Here's the notes I have on them. And taking all of that information just about Trevor and helping you make the best coaching decision possible.
That was going to be my next question, is like,
Yeah.
call this one right now 2.0. What does 3.0 look like?
Yeah. I mean, it's literally co-pilots per client. It's all the context. And again, that's the thing I think people miss out. If you were just to go AI and say, hey, I want to write a program for Trevor based on these things, like, it's going to give you a response, but it's not going to be great because it doesn't have the right context. And so many times people say, well, AI doesn't work for me. It didn't work. It didn't make a response. Guess what? It's smarter than you. It has more context. It has more education. It is a PhD in everything. But unless you narrow the context and give it exactly what it needs, it can't do a good job. And so narrowing the focus to what actually matters per client is going to give you better output than just generally looking at all your clients at once.
Right. And then, I mean, none of this is in development right now. So a little bit about what we'll talk about next is a little bit hypothetical, but at least gives people listening an idea on like where our brains are at. Right.
Yeah.
So let's say we get through that stuff, which is very realistic. 4.0, what does that potentially look like in your mind?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this I see where software is going is you are the orchestrator, right? You are logging into your account and you're orchestrating and telling agents to go do different things. And you're even saying, hey, build me this workout for Trevor. And it's going to build the workout for you. Hey, go do this and bring me this information. Okay, based on that, I want to build this checkout form with this, this, and this. Cool. It's going to do all that work for you. It does the button pushing for you. And I think that's where we're going. Whether that's a chat interface or a different type of interface, I think we're still figuring that out. But eventually you are an orchestrator. You're a director. You're sitting on top of all these different agents and these different AIs, and you're telling them what to do and you're coordinating everything. You're still making the decisions. You're still driving the direction. You just don't have to push buttons.
Yeah. And so, like, just caveat, right? That is like where
Yeah,
we
that's
see
not,
this going. And this isn't like coming out in Q1, right?
no.
We have to go through the progressions of doing this stuff, but each progression should make you that much more efficient as a coach.
Yeah. Progress reports will be Q1.
Right. Which already playing with
Yes.
playing with on test servers and that kind of stuff. And so, like, that is something that is right around the corner.
Yep. Yeah. It's really cool, the insights we're already getting from that just in beta rounds, right? And it's going to keep getting better and better and better as we get more data back. But the fact that it's be able to go in and pull all that information from client accounts quickly and give that to you right there, like it's going to be huge for coaches.
Right. So this AI is going to be a primary driver in what we do in 2026. It's not going to be the only thing that we do. It's going to take up a large amount of the bandwidth, but there's going to be bandwidth to do improvements, to do other smaller features, things like that. What would be a couple other ones? Integrations, better integration?
Yeah, I mean, there's two main things we always look at, right? It's going to be new stuff and it's going to be improving existing stuff to make it work better. Kind of like we talked about before, we're always looking at how do we make things seamless? How do we reduce friction, like you said? And how do we make sure that if I create a resource that shows up in my program, if I add somebody to a program, how do they get added to a resource folder automatically? We've already done like saved and canned messages within the platform to allow people to just utilize things in more than one place. And that's never going to stop. And that's something we're continuously looking at. Even right now, we're doing some stuff with communities to make sure it's more seamless for coaches. The other big one is exercise swapping, right? This is something we've heard about from coaches, and we say, we've heard this is one of our biggest requested features is giving the client the ability to swap exercises. Now, it sounds easier than it is because there's a ton to take a look at. Okay, does the coach have to pick what exercises they get to go? Is this regressions and progressions, or is this more like, hey, I don't have this piece of equipment. What else can I do? Like, there's a lot that goes into this, which is why it's taken us a little bit because we want to build it right. Every single feature that we build, we are putting our stamp of approval on saying this is how you should coach, right? People don't look for us for just software. They look to us for coaching advice. And so when we build something, we're saying this is how it should be done. And so that's why it takes a little bit longer sometimes because we want to make sure it is the right way. It is the way coaches should actually work.
Right. And like much of this isn't just theory as well. I still have my gyms that use Coach Catalyst every single day. I have coaches using Coach Catalyst with clients in person every single day, with hybrid clients, with online clients. Kane does some virtual online coaching as well. And so this isn't just like some cool tech people that are coming in trying to build this thing. It's like we're still building for ourselves in the real world, but also building for thousands and thousands of other coaches. So we need to kind of look at, hey, what's everybody doing? And then take the best practices out of that and then distribute that to everybody, but also make it flexible enough. And I think anyone that's used Coach Catalyst long enough will understand that it's flexible enough for you to put your spin on things and make it feel yours, right? You can coach in the way and the philosophy you want to.
Yeah, I think we give you the guardrails, right? We're going to give you the guardrails of like what's possible and what you should do. You can customize a little bit how you work inside those guardrails, but it's not just an open-ended platform where you can do whatever you want. There are best practices for online coaches that we know because we're in the trenches, because we do it every day. I think especially newer coaches or coaches who might not have as much structure set up, like this is a great way to kind of take that leap forward in your coaching by utilizing a platform that has that already set up for you.
Right. It's a whole lot easier as a brand new coach. I think I got this analogy from Mike Boyle, right? Like if you're a brand new chef and you just got out of culinary school, right? Just follow the recipe, right? Don't worry about creating new recipes. Just follow the recipe right away. And then eventually you earn the right to create new recipes. Too many coaches early on in their career, right? We're super motivated and we just got all this education and we feel like this is the way and the only way. And so we want to develop the recipe from day one. But the coach that's been in the game for 20 years has seen the ups and downs and seen all of the different people, right? They've seen enough to then create the recipe. They know that when you add these two things together, bad things happen, right?
Yeah,
Whereas a new coach, you just don't have an experience yet, which is fine, right? So we've talked a lot about, what new things are coming down the pipe, right? But it's always important or pertinent to ask the question of what's not going to change, because we're going to have technology, we're going to have new information, we're going to have all of this stuff, but like what's not going to change?
Yeah, I think it's a really important question we ask ourselves all the time, really, because as a technology company, we're always pushing the boundaries. We're always looking forward. But there's certain human behaviors and certain things that just don't change over time. And we want to make sure we're understanding human psychology at a deep, deep level. I've seen a lot of people recently talking about coaching is going to go away, right? AI is going to replace coaching. Clients can just type into ChatGPT and get a workout from themselves. That's true. I don't see how that's any different from right now. You can go to YouTube and find workouts everywhere. Like, content is not the issue. You can find meal plans for free anywhere. You can find workouts to do. It's the accountability, it's the actual execution that's always been the issue. And AI does not replace accountability. AI does not replace connection. And those two things are not going away, right? I don't care. I don't see a future where that goes away. And honestly, connection piece, I think it's even stronger. As more AI comes into play, as more technology comes into play, we're going to crave human connection even more. And as a coach, if you can provide the human connection and the accountability, like that's what people are going to pay for. They're not going to pay for workouts. If you are a
No,
workout design person and you're just doing that and pumping that out, you're going to be out of business.
correct.
If you're an actual coach who wants to get people better and help change behaviors and help change habits, you're going to have a job no matter what. You just have to utilize that technology better.
Yeah. I loved at the beginning this idea of that you talked about with information, right?
Yeah.
How we get information just changes, right? Before
Yeah.
the internet, there were books, right? And so if I wanted a workout, I could go buy the book of the workout guru at the time, right? And follow the workout, right? Then the internet came out. I could go and Google and get workouts. Now I can use ChatGPT. Just because it's more personalized doesn't mean that like more people are going to, someone didn't implement it. Like from a book, yes, it's not personalized, but if it was personalized, they wouldn't implement it. It's not, that's
No.
not the differentiating factor, right? And so it's the human component. And we know, and there's data behind this, right? People that do stuff with a coach get better, faster results than people that try to do stuff on their own. The
Yes.
tools will change, books to internet to software to this or these kind of things, but the coach still stays the focal point, right? And at the beginning, I talked about one of the principles that we have at Coach Catalyst when we're thinking about features is, does this save a coach time?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one that pairs with this is, does this create a better connection between the client and the coach? So every feature that we're developing, we think about this connection between a coach and a client. And does this thing that we're doing make that stronger? Because our job at Coach Catalyst is to keep the coach as the hero in the relationship, right? Software is not going to replace coaches. Software is going to augment coaches so that they can do the work of 10 coaches. But now with software, they can do it themselves, right? And so when we develop anything, any improvement, it's, does this save a coach time? And does this improve that connection with that client?
Yeah. There's two frames we always look at. And I think even going back, right? AI is an accelerant. It augments things. If you're a bad coach, it's going to make you a bad coach faster. It's not going to turn you into a great coach. But if you're already a good and a great coach, it's going to make you superhuman. It's going to allow you to do things that you couldn't do before and affect more lives and change more lives, but it's not going to completely change you. So there's always a place to get better at coaching. There's always a place to learning your craft. There's always going to be a place to making that better connection. It's just, how can we save you time and be able to do it with more people? Because that's at the end of the day, like that's why we built the software, is to affect more lives. You and I can only affect so many lives in person, right? We can only work with, say, 200 people in our local area, and that's a lot. I'm not going to be able to work with 1,000, 10,000. Like, we just can't do that. But if we can provide the tool for other coaches around the world to be able to do that and affect more and more lives, we're going to create a healthier place. I think that's really the end goal of the software, is provide the tool to accelerate somebody else's coaching and make them as best as possible.
Awesome. I love it. Well, we are coming up on 30 minutes, so I want to make sure that we wrap this thing up. You got things to do. Questions, comments, concerns, all of the above. We want it. You can drop it in the comments. Make sure you tag us too, because that just kind of directs our attention from that crazy, noisy Facebook feed into the group to make sure that we answer it, because this is a dialogue with coaches. We are developing this alongside of you guys. And so if there are things that you would love to see in 2026, definitely drop them in the comments. And also inside of the platform, remember, you can click into the little help section, and there is a place to basically upvote different features. We're utilizing that every time we're doing roadmap stuff to see, hey, what are coaches doing right now? Maybe there's something that we're missing that we need to get into this development sprint. And so make sure to use that as well. Kane, anything final from
I
you?
was going to say feedback.coachcast.com too. You can jump straight there.
Okay.
There may be something that we don't want to build, and we'll be very straight and upfront with you and saying, hey, I realize you want this. Here's why we don't think it's a good idea. but we read everything, we go through everything, we try to balance the number of responses and number of upvotes we get with like how can we actually build the best platform. So definitely we want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back here next Tuesday as usual. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you later.
Happy
Thanks,
New Year,
Kane.
guys.
See ya.